started so that we can get right into this. So if I ask any questions tonight and you want to answer them, then you'll just have to unmute yourself. I am going to be going over quite a bit of stuff, and there is going to be prizes to win free samples of stuff. So to answer questions and win free prizes, you'll have to unmute yourself to answer questions. So just kind of keep that in mind. Okay, so let's get started here. Just gonna move this over. Okay. Awesome. So I'm excited for you guys that you're here tonight. We're gonna have some fun. If you guys want to participate with me, comment, share any stories you may have, ask me questions, and most of all, have fun. At the end of the class today, if anyone has any questions, I'll be staying here for a while to answer those questions for you guys. So if you have any questions that are lengthier or anything like that, then just wait until the end of class. But if you do have a question you want answered right away, you can definitely ask and just unmute yourself to ask. If you want to turn your camera on so I can see your face, you can, or you can keep it off if you want to. It's up to you guys. But at the end of tonight, I'm going to do a prize draw for some free stuff as well. So you'll have to stay to the end of the class to do the prize draw. So make sure you stay until the end. And then, like I said before, throughout the class, I'm going to be doing some prize draws as well for free samples of oils. So make sure you unmute yourself if you want to answer a question. Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to introduce myself for those of you who don't know who I am. My name is Victoria Regan. I'm a professional dog trainer and owner of Valley Canine Training. I live in Lumby, BC with my fiance Rory and our two dogs, Misty and Kita. And we're currently expecting a baby girl in September. So that's been exciting. It's going to be our first. The reason I got into oils was to connect with dogs more. A lot of training that I do is control training. And I felt like a deeper mental and physical need of the dogs and my clients were not being covered until I kind of incorporated this into the training. Essential oils have helped me not only train dogs, but also get to the root of the mental and physical problems with dogs that it can affect their behaviors, which in turn makes training a lot harder if dogs are having any physical or mental issues like anxiety or pain as well. The intention of this class is for me to share a few things that are cool about essential oils, different ways you can use them, ways that you can use them on your dog and for yourself as well, and other pets in your house. So I'll explain a little bit about some of the ones that I use for my dogs, and then we'll be going over a bunch of other ones today as well. So for Misty, she gets ear infections or did get ear infections quite often. Anytime she goes swimming, she gets an ear infection. But now what I use for her is a mixture of lavender, copaiba, and arbor vitae. These three oils mixed together help combat her ear infections. So whenever she swims, I make sure to dry out her ears, and then I'll use a mix of those three oils and put it kind of around her ear topically and dilute that as well. And it prevents her from getting ear infections. She used to get about, I'd say, an ear infection every 2 months, but since I've been using this mix for her, she hasn't had an ear infection in 2 years. So this is a really great thing to use as a preventative. And we'll go over more of how to use oils to prevent things like that kind of further along in today's class. I also use copaiba in their food. So I just fed them dinner and they get 2 drops each of copaiba in their food. It's a really great oil to help calm them down. It helps calm the nervous system. It calms down inflammation in the body. And it's just a really good oil for any behavioral issues or excitement and energy. We are going to go more into depth on that later on as well. And then Balance is another great one. So this is Balance here. Balance is really great for helping kind of ground and calm your dog. It's great for anxiety. It's great for reactivity and aggression in your dogs. And it's also great for people as well. If you're feeling stressed out, Balance will really help kind of ground you. It's great to put on the bottom of your feet to help relax you. I use Balance before I do yoga, and I put it on the bottom of my feet to just kind of help me relax. So those are just some of the oils that I use with my dogs as an example. So today, Corine is with us. She used to be a client of mine. She did the Perfect Pup program with me like 2.5 years ago. And now she's been using oils with her dog, and she's had a really great experience with them with her dog. So she's going to be explaining a little bit about herself, and she's going to do a few slides in the class today and explain some of the cool things about oils. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Corine.
Thanks, Victoria. Hi, everyone. I'm Corine, and this is my rescue, Sadie. So I live in Edmonton with my husband, and Sadie and two cats, Monkey and Harley. So Sadie came into our lives 4 years ago, and my, what a journey it's been. When I first saw her, she was running up and down the range road. And of course, I was worried she'd be struck by a car. For 3 weeks, I saw her running up the same range road, and in conversations with my neighbor, who's a rescue, had heard that she had been dumped and that a number of rescues had tried to capture her with no success. So one day I had seen her on a bit of a busy highway and came home and said, we have to do something. And so armed with food and water, we went out trying to get her to stop running because she was running up and down the road. So after about 4 hours, we managed to get her down a dirt road in which I got out of the truck, sat in the middle of the road, opened a can of, as you may know, Merrick wet dog food, which smells amazing. And of course, she came up behind me, stuck her face in the can and started eating. And so we got her into the truck, tried looking for her people, and realized very quickly that it was meant to be. And so in no time at all, she was ours. But with Sadie came a lot of different issues, right? She's reactive, she's fearful of everything. She's got some behavioral issues, and just from the nightmares that she has, I suspect that there's been quite a bit of trauma involved. And so as Victoria had mentioned, I had worked with her a couple of years ago because I'm also from BC. So had worked with Victoria, and near the end of our training, I had joined a class just like this, how to support our pets with oils. That was 14 months ago, and started using doTERRA oils to help Sadie cope with life, and really haven't looked back. And similar to Victoria, I also give Copaiba twice a day on her food. I also, as I'm dripping it into her food, I'm dripping it under my tongue because, of course, it helps calm the central nervous system. So we both can use that. I use an oil called DDR Prime, which is an oil that supports the health of the brain and the nervous system. So I dilute it and I drip it over her brainstem and the base of her neck, and I give her a massage every night, which she absolutely loves. I drip balance down her spine, and I diffuse lavender for her fear and anxiety. And so from the results that I've seen from Sadie, we've extended these benefits to our cats. We've got two cats, one of which is Monkey, who now has arthritis because she, of course, was an escape artist and tried jumping the fence way too often and now is paying for it. So we have an arthritis blend for her, which according to our vet, has kept her off of meds. We're now starting to give her some shots, but in addition to the oils, it's kept her from having to get those shots probably by about a year. So it's had a tremendous effect on her. And also we do travel with our pets to BC, which is a long trip. And we diffuse adaptive while we travel. And this is an absolute miracle oil because, of course, yeah, I can't imagine anyone who has cats that love to travel, but ours are used to it. So Monkey, she actually sits on the console with her face over the diffuser, absorbing the oils because, she starts off panting a little bit, getting a bit nervous, and then a little bit into the trip, after she's absorbed some of these oils, she goes into her hut and she sleeps the rest of the trip. And so it's really a calming oil for all of us. Not a sleeping oil, so it doesn't put us to sleep, but it is very calming for all of us. So what we're going to do today is talk about 3 amazing things that oils can do for you and your pets. And so our main goal for this class is for you to leave knowing these 3 cool things. So hopefully you've got a pen and paper so you can write these things down, because we are going to be asking questions for free oil samples. And so if you do have a pen and paper, we will start. So the first cool thing about doTERRA Essential Oils is that they're 100% natural and safe, even for pets. There's nothing added to the oil or taken away from the oil. They're just simply pure essential oils with no side effects or addictions. They're safe for pets, babies, children, adults, elderly. They're extracted from plants that have amazing health benefits. And for example, a pure oil is about 50 to 70 times more powerful than herbs. So for example, peppermint, 1 drop of peppermint, okay, so here's peppermint. 1 drop of peppermint is equivalent to drinking 28 cups of peppermint tea. Okay, so there's what, Victoria, 300 drops in a bottle?
Yeah, probably about that much. Yeah.
So just imagine how many cups of peppermint tea that is. So it's very, very potent, but peppermint is quite strong. Okay, so when you smell it in, it clears the airways. It's an absolutely staple in our house. Tonight it's hot in the room that I'm presenting here. I've got a fan going, and so before the presentation, I'm putting peppermint oil on my shoulders and on my neck, and with the fan blowing, and even without the fan blowing, it's got some cooling properties, so it's really good. But it is a strong oil. So if you ever get an oil like this in a sensitive part of your body, just use a carrier or oil like fractionated coconut oil or olive oil, avocado oil, any other oil that you have, and dilute it, which will take the intensity away really quick. Do not add water because they don't mix. And so by putting an oil into it, it will take the intensity away. So what I love about doTERRA oils is that they are CPTG certified. Which stands for Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade, meaning these oils are completely pure and potent, and even for pets. So pure means there's no foreign contaminants or fillers, and potent means that each plant was grown in a part of the world where the plant is grown best, resulting in absolutely the best chemistry for that plant. So when you have the ideal natural chemistry, the essential oil extracted does exactly what we want it to do. And you can think of this as a very strong concentration of a plant medicine. So lavender oil is absolutely amazing. It's versatile. It's a staple in our home. When you think of lavender, think of everything calming. Okay, so it calms the nervous system. It calms the skin, it calms the histamine response as well. I use it for stress, sleep, rashes, cuts, burns, and even hives and allergies. I have to say that my pets really like lavender as well, diffuse it at night, and they're out like a light. Lavender was actually used in a study in a dog shelter environment, and the study showed that there was reduced activity when they diffused lavender, and that proves that it's very calming. And recently, a few months ago, Sadie was attacked by 2 dogs, and she had a number of stitches as a result of that. And I made a Nowie blend, which is lavender and fractionated coconut oil, and I put it on where she had her stitches every day, and by the time she had her staples out, they couldn't believe how quickly she had healed. So it really had those healing properties. And sped along her recovery. So, who can tell me the first cool thing about essential oils? Anybody? You'll have to go off mute. It's right there on the slide.
We'll win a free sample if you
we do have a free sample. Anybody? Okay, the first cool thing about essential oils is that it's 100% natural and safe. And so Serenity, which someone would have won, it's a restful blend. So it's very calming, great for sleep disorders, but as well for dogs who have heightened fear and anxiety. So it's great to diffuse or even use topically on cranky dogs or dogs that don't get along well with others, which is the case with my dog Sadie. So we'll keep going on to the second best thing, but just remember at the end when I ask you the question, please come off mute and answer, and you can win a sample of an oil. So the second cool thing about essential oils is that they are more effective than many modern approaches to health and behavior problems in pets and people too. So I'm simply going to explain the biology of how the oils work. Okay, so let's say that this is a cell in your pet's body, and we know that cells have oily cell membranes over top. The cell membrane protects the cell, it keeps all the good things in and all the bad things out. So two of the things that are harmful to cells are bacteria and viruses. Bacteria usually forms on the outside of the cell, and viruses replicate on the inside of the cell. All you have to remember is that bacteria on the outside, viruses on the inside. So let's say you took your pet to the vet for a bacterial infection. What would your vet recommend for you? Anybody? Some M's?
Yes, something that would be on the outside of the cell.
So like an antibiotic?
Yeah. I was trying to tie it into what you said, but I didn't do a very good job.
No, you did great. So if they were to recommend an antibiotic after taking the antibiotic for about 7 to 10 days in most cases, it would probably clear up the infection, but it often comes with wreaking havoc on their gut, their hormones, and their immune system. And then that could affect their behavior, because that's how our pets tell us that they're not feeling well. Now, if your pet had a virus like canine influenza, what would your vet say?
Another example would be kennel cough, which would be another virus. So what does your vet usually say if your dog gets kennel cough?
I've never had a dog who's had kennel cough, but I imagine some sort of like a vaccine or something, like a shot. That is my guess.
So usually when you get like a flu or, something inside, they actually, they'll ask you to, just rest, let it run its course, right? Take your pet home and just let it be, right? So the reason is that most modern recommendations are water-based synthetic agents. Water and oils don't mix. So if the recommendation from your vet is water-based, it will have a very hard time penetrating through that oily cell membrane and stopping the duplication of the virus. So essential oils are different, okay? They are oil-based, which means they can permeate the cell membrane. They can work on a cellular level without side effects or risk of dependency. And they can combat bacteria on the outside of the cell and prevent the duplication of viruses on the inside of the cell. That is why they are often more effective than the modern approach to health problems. So On Guard oil, this is On Guard, is one of our most popular oils because it positively affects the immune system. This is the first oil I reach for if somebody in my family has an infection, whether it's inside like a cold or flu, or even outside like a hot spot on dogs. So it's great for kennel cough on dogs. It's also a powerful cleaning agent for your entire home, and it kills 99% of the bacteria. It's safe to use around babies and pets too. So if your dog or baby licks the floor, there's no problem. It's how I clean all my floors, countertops, and dog crate. And it's honestly an amazing cleaner for the floors. With Sadie, with all her slobber dripping throughout the floor, you get all those little circles, and this takes it away remarkably. Your house smells fresh and clean, and everything looks great. So who can tell me the second cool thing about essential oils?
I've talked a lot, so I wanted to see if someone else wants to answer, but if no one else wants to answer, I can answer, but I'll let someone else talk if they want to.
You can answer.
It's that they are more effective because they're oil-based rather than water-based synthetic thingies from modern medicine.
You're right. They're more effective than many modern approaches to healthcare. So absolutely right. And is your name Ems? Or those are initials?
Sorry, no, yeah, that I didn't realize I had used Zoom before for a family call, so it's not my actual name, it's my nickname from my family, but I didn't know how to change it when I joined. My name's Emily Hansen, and I'm apprenticing under Victoria. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
So the sample that you're going to get is wild orange. Okay, so wild orange is something I put in my water every day to add a refreshing taste to my water and cleanse my liver. And that's essential after COVID.
That's awesome, thank you.
Wild orange is also great to take internally if you have a canker sore in your mouth. And that's something that I just learned recently from Victoria. So and I had a canker sore just recently and it does work very well. So the third cool thing about essential oils is that they are cheaper than traditional veterinary care. So I'm not saying that you should never take your pet to a vet, and please don't leave here thinking that, because that's not the case. But who can tell me what it costs to go to a vet for a checkup? It costs a lot, right? So we're talking 75,
70, 150, yeah.
And if your vet were to give you a prescription for an antibiotic, how much would that cost? So you're looking at additional 25, 30 and up in terms of depending on what the medication is. So I'm going to give you an example of how it's pennies per dose. When Sadie starts to show signs of an ear infection, and Misty is the same, I rub 2 drops of a diluted solution of lavender, copaiba, and arbor vitae around the outside of the ear, not the inside, around the outside. And 12 hours later, the ear infection is cleared up. It costs about 25 cents because we don't even use full drops for our pets. And we also haven't taken into account that antibiotics wreak havoc on the internal systems, on the immune system, on the gut, and so as opposed to the oils. So of course there are times when visiting a vet is necessary, and we highly recommend that regular checkups happen so that you understand your pet's health status. But essential oils really are a safe option for many things that come up with your pets and can even save you money. So one of the oils that I use on my dog is frankincense. And frankincense is the king of the oils for a reason, because of how amazing it is for the whole body. Outside, it's great for healing skin, so cuts, wounds, hot spots, rashes. It's also great for pain and inflammation. But inside the body, frank is an incredible way to support our cells, our immune system, and even the brain. And so a couple of ways that I use frank is that whenever I get a headache, I can get rid of the headache within 5 minutes. And how I do this is I take a drop of frank and I put it on my thumb and I press it to the top of my mouth, the roof of my mouth. And then I follow it up with copaiba, a drop on my thumb, and I put that to the roof of my mouth because copaiba is good for pain and inflammation. And then to drive the benefits of those oils in, I follow it with peppermint, another drop on my thumb to the base or the roof of my mouth. And within 5 minutes, that headache is gone. Another way is I use frankincense in my moisturizer. And so it's got great benefits for the skin and for anti-aging for those of us who are a little bit older. Great benefits there as well. Love frankincense. It's also been studied in extensive literature connected to cancer and as well has been used to help with seizure disorders. So who here can tell me the third cool thing about essential oils? Anyone? It's for a sample of lemon.
It's affordable compared to other alternative methods.
It is. So it's cheaper than traditional care. And Emily, that you would get a sample of lemon. So lemon wakes you up. It's very cleansing, helps alkalize your body, improves metabolism, and get your organs going in the morning. Studies have found that drinking a glass of lemon first thing in the morning, you will receive all of these benefits. So now, who can tell me all 3 cool things about essential oils? Anybody?
I can give it a shot.
Great, Natasha.
Yeah. I would say the first one mentioned is that they're 100% natural and safe, even to pets, and they're extracted from plants. And the next one is that they are more effective. They're more, well, I don't think this is the second one, but they're more effective than modern approaches to health problems. And it looks like they're good for the first line of defense against issues like that. And I think this is the second one, but are they certified pure therapeutic grade? Pure and potent, is that the second one?
So more effective than modern.
Oh, and then they're more affordable.
Yeah,
Is
more
there-
affordable,
yeah.
more effective, and 100% pure natural.
Affordable, okay. I took notes, but I did not number them, so I was kind of, yeah, we're trying to dissect my notes there.
That's quite all right. Thank you, Natasha.
Yeah.
And so for doing that, you get a sample of lemongrass. So lemongrass,
Awesome.
it is really awesome. It's great for diffusing. It purifies the air. It's also great for getting grease out of things, so for removing grease off of things. And also, some people take it for UTIs, urinary tract infections. They take it internally for that. And so there is a protocol for that as well. So many benefits of lemongrass, and congratulations. And
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And Victoria, I'll hand it back to you.
Perfect. Awesome. Thanks, Corine.
You're welcome.
So next I'm going to go over the 3 ways to use essential oils. When we're explaining these 3 ways and explaining how to use these oils with our pets, I'm only talking about Doterra Essential Oils. I'm not talking about other brands. Doterra Essential Oils are the only oils that are actually tested by vets, and they have vets in the company that make sure that they're safe for animals and pets and young children as well. So when I'm talking about all these oils and when we're talking about everything in this class, it's only Doterra oils we're specifically talking about, not other brands as well. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so the first way to use essential oils is aromatically. So can everyone take their fingers and pinch right above the bridge of your nose and try to breathe in? So you usually can't breathe anything, and that's because your olfactory nerve is located right there. Same with your dogs, their olfactory nerve is located right here as well. So this nerve sends messages to the limbic system in your brain, which in turn sends messages all over your body. Sometimes people think it's hokey to say that oils can't affect your body by just smelling them, but people don't understand the sensitivity and the power of this nerve that's in your nose. So has anyone ever experienced using nitrous oxide, or also known as laughing gas? They'll use it sometimes during dental procedures, or also when you're in labor giving birth as a woman, they also use nitrous oxide. So nitrous oxide mixed with oxygen is inhaled through a mask that fits over your nose. And in as little as 30 seconds, breathing in this laughing gas triggers your olfactory nerve and system to send signals to your whole body to relax and make you feel euphoric and good. So this kind of shows you how strong that olfactory nerve can be. It helps reduce fear and takes away anxiety as well. So this is one of the fastest ways to access the brain is through our nose. And that's exactly why natural compounds like essential oils can affect our moods within 30 seconds. So when we breathe in natural components from essential oils, they hit that olfactory nerve, and the olfactory nerve sends signals to the limbic system to calm us, energize us, or even help reduce pain, which in turn sends signals to the rest of the body, and this can happen within 30 seconds. So it's a great way to positively impact your mood, emotions, as well as purify the air and support your respiratory system. So there's a few ways to use essential oils aromatically. First, you can breathe them in from your hands. So you can drop them onto your hands, rub your hands together and breathe them in. You can also breathe them in with just smelling them from the bottle, or you can breathe them in from a diffuser. I have a diffuser back there. Or you can drop them onto yourself or your clothes as well to smell throughout the day. For our pets, we can make an oil spray and put it onto a bandana or onto their collar as well. So one of my #1 recommendations for oils to ease emotions in animals is balance. Balance is great for reactivity and anxiety. It's great for calming them. So it's also, we've used balance before for Kita, before like a group class, or before a stressful situation. So who can answer the first way to use essential oils? That's the first way that we can use essential oils.
Yeah, well, you just talked about it, so it would be smelling it, inhaling it.
Yeah, so aromatically, perfect. So that was Sonia.
Yeah.
Perfect. So you will win a sample of Adaptive. Adaptive was developed in 2019, and it's specifically for anxiety. This is usually what I use if I'm feeling anxious about anything. I'll put it on myself and diffuse it throughout the house as well and breathe it in aromatically. It's great for, specifically anxiety. It's great for your dogs as well, or your cats as well. Okay, so the next way to use essential oils is topically. You can either apply them on your skin directly, or you can put them onto your clothes as well. For pets, children, and people with sensitive skin, we always want to dilute them with a fraction of coconut oil so they're not super strong. So you can use a mixture of usually about 1% oil to the rest fractionated coconut oil. And that's one thing I will go over is the dilution chart for pets and their size and their weight. So you want to definitely dilute it so that it's safe for them and it's not affecting their skin. So you can pet your dog or cat with the oil, and it will travel down through their hair into their skin. I like to drip diluted oils like Balance onto the spine of my dogs to help kind of calm them down, massage it in. For skin issues and digestive troubles, you would want to also use it this way. So with skin issues, if your dog has a rash or if you have a rash, you can use things like frankincense or lavender that are diluted. And then you can also use Zengest. So Zengest is a really great oil for upset stomachs. So when Misty has like a gurgly stomach and she's eating a bunch of grass and she's gassy and just not feeling good and not really settling down, I'll take Zengest, a few drops of Zengest, and then some fractionated coconut oil, rub it in my hands and rub it onto her stomach. And her gurgly stomach usually kind of gets better within a few minutes. And then you can also give Zengest internally, which we're going to talk about next. And it's really great. Zengest is great for also constipation, diarrhea, vomiting, and nausea as well. Since I'm pregnant right now, I was nauseous for the first 25 weeks of my pregnancy, pretty much the whole time. So peppermint and Zengest were really great for that nausea. I use these like every single day, and it really helps ease that nausea. So who can tell me the second way to use essential oils? Second way to use them.
Topically.
Perfect. So Emily?
Yeah.
I'll write your name down here. Awesome. So you're going to get a sample of peppermint. Another tip too, if you get allergies, a great mix that you can do is peppermint, lemon, and lavender. It's called an allergy balm. And you can actually either put those on topically or take them internally, which we're going to talk about next. Okay, so the third way to use essential oils is internally. These essential oils are not only safe to use internally, they're actually recommended by our panels of veterinarians and doctors to use internally. So the CPTG standard means that these oils are medicinal grade and are completely safe to ingest, unlike other brands. So you can put them in your dog's food, you can add them to their water. If you don't like the taste, you can put it into a veggie capsule. So a veggie capsule is just an empty capsule that you can put some oil in, close it up and take it and swallow it just like a vitamin. Copaiba is a great one to give. So Copaiba is the #1 oil that I recommend for pets because of its versatility. Like I said before, I give it to my dogs every morning and evening in their food. So you can give it for calming extreme anxiety, aggression, reactivity. It's great for clearing inflammation in the body, helps support the immune system, helps balance out hormones, and can even be great for the brain. And then also copaiba is a cannabinoid. So the copaiba tree, it's not this, being a cannabinoid, it's not from marijuana, it's actually from a copaiba tree, but it's in the cannabinoid family. So it's like a CBD, but it works more powerfully because it works directly with the CB2 receptors in the body, which is something you can kind of look up more if you want more information on that. So who can tell me the third cool way or the third way to use essential oils?
Internal, with keeping it on the food or in the water or in a pitchy cap.
Perfect. Is that Alana?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. So Alana, you're going to get a sample of Terra Shield. So Terra Shield is an outdoor blend. It's great for ticks and mosquitoes. It's what I use in my my bug spray that I make that's safe for dogs. A few of you guys have looked at that recipe and gotten oils to make natural bug spray for your dogs. So Terra Shield is a great one to add to that specifically for bugs. So who can tell me all 3 ways to use essential oils? So what's all 3 ways we can use essential oils?
I can share that. The 3 ways would be aromatically, topically, and internally.
Perfect.
Cool.
So, Natasha, I'm going to give you a sample of, write your name down there, a sample of copaiba. You can try this for your cats if you want to.
Ooh, thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. So the next thing, I'm going to go over a few different things and some important information about using these oils. This is a great kind of slide to look at for treating the most common things. So these are the most common things that we usually see in dogs and also in ourselves. Most of the oils that we use on dogs, we can use in the same way on ourselves. There's just a couple of considerations that we want to keep in mind when it comes to animals. So animals' body systems are more sensitive, they're smaller than us, and not all oils should be used on dogs. And we're even more careful when we use them on cats, birds, or other small animals. So if you're uncertain, you would want to contact me and ask me, is this safe for my dog? How much should I use? How much should I dilute it? Can I give it internally? All those type of questions. But that's what I'm here for. So a few important things. We always want to use a water-based diffuser around our dogs. We don't want to use like a candle melt kind of diffuser. We want to use a diffuser that actually has water in it. Because if you use an oil-based diffuser, it doesn't disperse the oils evenly, and it can be overwhelming at first for dogs or people in the house. So the oil-based diffuser actually disperses the oil evenly throughout 2 or 6 hours or however long you're diluting it or diffusing it for. Also, we only use about 2 to 4 drops in our diffuser depending on the size of the room, because animals are a lot smaller and they also have a lot stronger of scent than us. We want to make sure that they can leave the room if they aren't liking that scent, and we're not trapping them in a room with that scent. So the next thing to consider is dilution. So we treat animals like kids. So basically big dogs we treat like a regular sized kid, and small dogs and cats we would treat like babies. So we always want to start out more diluted because we can always add more, but it's hard to take it away. So for small dogs and cats, we usually use a dilution of 0.1 to 1%. And for bigger dogs, we use a dilution of 3 to 5%. That's depending on what oil you're using and what way you're using it. So you don't have to remember all this. I am here to support you guys that way. If you ever feel like you put too much essential oil on yourself or on your animals, you can always use more carrier oil to help dilute it. You don't want to add water though, because water actually drives oils in further, and water and oil don't mix, so we know that. So you only want to just add more oil. So if you ever say use peppermint and it got too close to your eyes and it was kind of burning your eyes, you wouldn't want to try to use water to wash away because it would make it worse. You'd want to go get like an olive oil or something and put that on there to dilute it. The last thing to consider is consistency. So we want the oils, we want to use the oils on a regular basis so that they have the best long-lasting results and benefits. We also want to make sure that the animal has a positive experience in association with that scent. So if, for example, your dog is scared of thunderstorms and the only time that you pull out lavender is during a thunderstorm, then your dog is going to start associating that scent with a thunderstorm. We don't want to teach it or associate it that way. First, we want to condition our dogs to it in the proper way. So if you do use lavender on a regular basis and you use it during calming time, so say you use in the evening, you put a few drops of lavender on your dog's back and you give them a nice massage and it's a calming, relaxing time, then they're going to associate that emotion or that feeling with that scent. And then in the future, we can use it in stressful situations. So I always tell people you want to use an oil for at least 3 weeks straight every single day to create an emotion with that scent before we use it in a stressful situation. So with clients that say are using lavender or balance or adaptive, they will use it for 3 weeks. They'll drop it onto their dog. They'll create a really calm, kind of peaceful emotion or state with that scent. And then you can use it before a group class or something like that. And it will help bring their excitement down. So a lot of you guys that have done my online course know that there's that layered stress model. So once your dog's associated calmness with this scent, it brings down that layered stress model and helps them handle a group class a lot better. But we always have to condition that behavior or emotion first. Okay. So I'm going to quickly go over a few ways to get started with oils and how to use them for your health and behavior. So the first way is you can buy oils at retail. With retail, it does cost more and you don't get support and there's no discounts. So we do want to support your family and your pets for everything and anything that can come up and incorporate healthy habits into your home. So you want to think of, I think of reaching into my oils like reaching into my medicine cabinet. I have a headache, instead of grabbing for Advil, I'll grab for the peppermint, copaiba, and frankincense. If I have a sore muscles, instead of grabbing Tylenol, I'll grab usually the deep blue rub. I don't think I have it in here, but the deep blue muscle rub, that's great for that. So I kind of treat it as my first approach to things before grabbing those medications all the time. So the second way to get started with essential oils is going wholesale. There's 2 different ways to do wholesale. The first wholesale option would be you pay $42 for a wholesale account, which gives you the oils at 40 or 25% off. And then you can order again at any time with no monthly commitments. With this option, you get a personalized wellness consult with me, and you also get continued educational support through our community. The second way is option number 2, or wholesale option number 2. You would get a pre-made enrollment kit, which waives the $42 wholesale account fee. You get all the oils at 25% off. You can order again at any time with no monthly commitments. You get a free personalized wellness consult with me, and you get continued education and support from me and the Doterra community. So the pre-made kits come with some really good oils. The most important thing is that we figure out what's going to work for you. We can either personalize something, customize something, or you can go with an enrollment kit as well. So we can definitely fit things in your budget. And if there's like 2 oils you want to try to start with, we can definitely start with just those 2. But it is nice to have different oils to support different things so that you're using them throughout the day for different ailments and for yourself and for your pets. Okay, I'm going to quickly go over an example of wholesale option number 1. So this would be creating your own kit. This is something that Robin actually did with me a few weeks ago because she wanted to get all of the bug spray oils to make the bug spray, the natural bug spray. So we made her kind of like a custom kit with that. So what you would do is start with a $42 wholesale membership fee. Then you would want to add anything 25% off. So most people get back more than $42 savings on their first order, which pays for that fee. And then we would talk about your top concerns. So if you have regular headaches and you have arthritis and your dog has maybe anxiety and hip dysplasia or something like that, we can make a kit that fits all those ailments and you can treat yourself and your pets. So that would be option number 2, would be kind of creating your own custom kit. And then there is option number 2 for the wholesale is just a pre-made kit. So this kit, you get the diffuser, you get all of these oils, which are a lot of the ones that we talked about today, that are really great for dogs. This is the kit that I started with a few years ago. You get also a free wholesale account and anything else for 25% off retail. This is a great one for pets and for yourself. And then the next option would be the wholesale option number 2, a healthy start kit, which has a lot of the oils we talked about today too. And the same things, you get a wellness consult with me, 25% off, and your enrollment fee would be in that as well. So no matter what kind of suits you or you want to start with, we can definitely figure out what's going to work for you and customize it that way. One last thing I wanted to offer you guys too, if you do get started within this week after this class, if you spend more than $150 this month, doTERRA is giving a $60 credit towards your account. So you get $50 towards oils next month or next order that you wanted to do. And if you order over 100 PV, you'll get a wild orange from me. 200 PV, you'll get a wild orange and a Terra Shield. 300 PV, you'll get a wild orange, a Terra Shield, and a lemongrass. So that's kind of just an offer that I'm giving to people that are in this class today. Okay. So I'm going to hand this over to Corine, and she can explain another testimonial about Sadie.
Thanks, Victoria. So as I had mentioned in my introduction, Sadie came to us afraid of everything, right? So we live on an acreage and she wouldn't even leave the house. So when I could get her out to pee, she would bolt to the door if she heard the rooster or the goats that were down the road. She paced from the front door to the deck door and back. She wore a path into the grass, but she never enjoyed the outdoors. And so she was fine when we went on walks, but she was terrified of our fenced in yard. And so over the last 14 months, I've used the oils daily and have witnessed a complete transformation in the past few months. So it didn't, of course, happen right away. It takes time to work through the system from the inside out. But I have absolutely witnessed a transformation in her. She no longer paces, she no longer digs in fear, and she's actually calm enough to play fetch. And so she wouldn't stay outside without me, but recently she's been eating a bone and a chew toy or a chew stick after our walks in the morning while I go in and get ready for work. And so I think on the weekend we broke a record where she actually stayed outside with and without me for over 6 hours. And so that was, I mean, all day long I'm going, who's an outside dog? You're an outside dog. She was so cute. And so it just absolutely brings tears to my eyes to see that she's being a dog. And even though that we had worked with her, I'd worked with Victoria with her over the past 4 years, the real change came when we started working on the inside out by supporting her with the oils.
Awesome. So I'm going to explain a testimonial of my sister. This is echoing. There we go. So this is my sister's. She took these pictures about a year and a half ago. So I gave her frankincense a while ago and to treat her eczema. She's had eczema her whole life. We've tried everything from steroid creams, corticosteroids, even injections as well into the really bad parts of her body that have eczema. And nothing would ever really fully treat it. And then also with cortisone creams, because it's a steroid, you can't go into the sun after using it. So she'd have to keep herself covered up on her arms and everywhere else in the summertime, or she'd get burnt really bad by the sun because it thins your skin. So I gave her frankincense a year and a half ago, and this is all she uses now to treat her eczema. And as you can see, within 5 days, her eczema was pretty much completely gone. With eczema, it is something that is a lifelong thing that she will have. That's always going to have to be treated, and it will come back. But with the frankincense, she found that it treated it faster. It didn't make her skin thin. She could go out into the sun, and it kept the rash away longer before it came back again. So before, when she used corticosteroids, it would go away, but then the rash would come back like about 4 days later as soon as she stopped using it. It would never fully treat it. With the frankincense, it actually fully treated it, and she was able to go a few weeks between actually using the frankincense. And then as soon as it started kind of coming out again, the rash started coming out again, she would use frankincense once and it would clear it up. So that's one of the things that I'm really happy about that I was able to help her with because she has struggled with eczema her whole life. And it kind of sucks to see that with your siblings. So that's one of the testimonials that I like to share, just because it's very visual as well. You can kind of see the results with that. So the last thing I want to go over here is a few more things. Because you're still here and you're still watching, you guys have a chance to enter the prize draw to win Easy Air Touch Roller. So what you guys can do is copy this link, put it into your browser either right now or after class as well. The email that I sent out earlier today too has this link on it at the very bottom. So you can copy that link and go and fill out that form. And whoever fills out that form will get entered into the prize draw, which I'm going to do tomorrow morning. So make sure that you fill it out tonight. So tomorrow morning, I'll do the prize draw for the Easy Air, and whoever wins, I'll let you guys know and send it to you. The last thing, if you think that there's someone in your family, or if you have a group of friends and family that you think would have interest in what we talked about today, then you can host your own class, which I would teach myself. But you would just host it, you invite your people. And for every person that comes to your class, you'll get a free oil sample and a keychain as well. So if you do want to host your own class because you have 5 friends that might be interested in learning the information that you learned today, then we can definitely set up your own class and you'll get some free oils for doing that. Perfect. Okay. So that's it. Does anybody have any questions?